வணக்கம் அன்புக்குரிய நேர்களே. இந்திய பாகிஸ்தான் உறவுகள் ஒரு கடுமையான காலகட்டத்தில் தற்போது இருக்கின்றன. போர் மேகம் சூழ்கிறதோ என்ற எண்ணம் அவ்வப்போது ஏற்படுகின்ற அளவுக்கான சூழல். கடைசியாக இந்தியாவும் பாகிஸ்தானும் சந்தித்த யுத்தம் கார்கில் யுத்தம். கார்கில் யுத்தத்துடைய காரணகர்த்தா இந்திய பாகிஸ்தான் உறவுகள் சார்ந்த ஒரு முக்கியமான அத்தியாயத்தில் முக்கியமான பங்காற்றிய பாகிஸ்தானுடைய முன்னாள் அதிபர் ஜெனரல் பர்வேஸ் முஷரஃப் அவர்கள் நம்மிடையே இருக்கிறார். ஒரு தென்னிந்திய தொலைக்காட்சிக்கு அவர் அளிக்கக்கூடிய முதல் பேட்டி இது. Thank you, General Pervez Musharraf, for agreeing to do this interview.
You're welcome.
General Musharraf, I am not beginning this interview with a question on either India or Pakistan, but on an issue which has taken the whole world by a surprise. Stunning victory of Donald Trump. What do you think Mr. Donald Trump as the President of the United States mean for the world and Pakistan in particular?
Well, I look at it very positively because in comparing him with Hillary Clinton was a product of the system establishment which had for 15 years. She had been flowing along at the helm of affairs for 15 years. So she maybe was a agent of status quo agent. And here when you talk of Donald Trump, he is quite uninitiated. He comes with an open mind and a fresh mind. Even if he has lack of understanding of international issues, if he's got an open mind, if he's intelligent enough to grasp essentials, to learn and to take fast decisions, he'll bring about change. So that is what the people of the United States want. They want change.
But you are a friend of a sort in Hillary Clinton. But with Mr. Donald Trump, don't you think you have reasons to worry as well, considering his hardline positions on Pakistan? He recently blamed Pakistan of nurturing terrorism. He went on to say Pakistan is a betrayer.
Well, I don't agree there. Since he is not, as I said, he is uninitiated. He comes into office. He gets briefings. He will get briefings, obviously, and a person with an open mind is very, very liable to change. And if Pakistan plays its cards well and deals with him suitably at diplomatic level, I am sure he'll understand realities and change his thoughts.
But his position on this matter is very strong. He has used the strongest words possible, which no other candidate in the American elections has done, as far as Pakistan is concerned.
Frankly, I really don't know exactly the words that you are talking of, whether he's used it.
These are his tweets.
He has spoken against Muslims, all right.
Yeah.
But whether he's spoken that strongly against Pakistan, well, as I said again, even if he has done that, he can be dealt with because he's uninitiated. He comes with a fresh mind.
Of late, the Pakistan-US relations has been a love-hate relations, especially after 9/11. But now Mr. Donald Trump has lavish praises for India, for the Hindu community, for the Indian Prime Minister. Don't you think a paradigm shift or a large shift in the Indo-US relations is a likely possibility, and the position of the United States is most likely to be pro-India than pro-Pakistan?
Well, we know that Republicans generally have been pro-Pakistan and Democrats have generally been pro-India. So he is a Republican, by the way. So it's not an individual, it's the whole party.
But he has been an exceptionally Republican, because he has taken these positions which have taken everybody by surprise. His position on Russia, his position on Pakistan, his love for India. This is new for a Republican, and it looks like he means it.
Well, as I said, United States has strategic interests with India that will continue. But that doesn't mean that it should be at the cost of Pakistan. And that is what we have to ensure, and I'm very sure.
Right. You're hopeful of Mr. Donald Trump's tenure.
Definitely.
And coming to Indo-Pakistan relations, Indo-Pakistan relations are going through a very tumultuous and tempestuous times. Who do you think is largely responsible for the state of affairs?
I mean, you won't like the answer, but the answer is India.
I
India is
expected that.
responsible. Yes, well, it is India.
How?
And whatever is happening now, it is again, it's India and Indian Prime Minister. How, you said? Look at our history. What happened in East
Did
Pakistan?
India cause Pathankot?
No, no.
Was
No,
Pathankot a self-inflicted pain?
Don't
or was
go into
Uri
minor-
self-inflicted
Okay, then
pain?
now that you've spoken about that, let's go back in history. Why do you ignore what happened in East Pakistan in the creation of Bangladesh? Your country, your whole army invaded East Pakistan, our country, right? What happened in Siachen?
It was a struggle by the Bangladeshis.
So you can't interfere. Should we interfere in Kashmir and in Punjab?
Because there was a huge refugee inflow into our country.
There was a struggle for Khalistan. Even now there is there, and there is struggle in Assam. Should we send Pakistan army inside? And there are Maoists and Naxalites in your eastern districts. Should we send Pakistan army inside? That you can't do. You can't invade another country. And then what about Siachen? So these things have been happening, right? And now, again, dispute, the problem is you ignore the core issue and you are talking of Pathankot and Uri. Why don't you go a little back? Why are they being caused? What is happening in Kashmir? What has happened? Hasn't Burhan Wani been killed? Haven't 80 people been killed and thousands injured? And hasn't the Kashmir dispute not been being resolved?
It
So
is
why
an
don't you
internal
go to the
matter
core of
India.
the problem?
And what about the thousands of Baloch people being massacred?
Just a second.
A lot
now.
of
Just a
extrajudicial
second.
killings
This
happen.
is all bullshit, okay? There is no massacre of thousands of people. This is what your media and your government tries to project. Absolutely untrue.
There is an international angle to this as well.
No, there is no international angle. This is our country, and you can't compare a disputed Kashmir with Pakistan's part of Pakistan, Baluchistan, even if whatever you are saying is
Baloch
correct.
people are also fighting for their self-determination.
Not at all. Let's not kid ourselves, right? Baluchistan, I don't know how much you know about. I have operated in Baluchistan in the 70s. There are only 2 or 3 tribes, part of those tribes, who tend to go against Pakistan. Not more than that. And Baluchistan's population, if you know, is just about 3% of Pakistan, right? And in that 3%, these tribes that I am talking of may be about 0.5% of Pakistan.
You can say similar things about Kashmir as well.
Now, therefore, when you are talking of Baluchistan, this is spread by your media and your government.
Bodies like the ASEAN have called the situation in Balochistan alarming. The European Parliament has recognized the alarming situation. There have been extrajudicial killings.
Whatever anyone is saying, I know that mostly it is Indian articulated. One has to admit that you wield influence everywhere, and that is what you do. You are trying to undermine Pakistan, and these are the causes of conflict between India and Pakistan.
Similarly, issues in Kashmir can be said it's all Pakistan fabricated. You say when a Baloch leader is quoted, you say he doesn't matter. Similarly, it can be argued Hurriyat doesn't matter, Burhan Wani doesn't matter. There are democratically elected government, there is an opposition party, they do matter.
No.
So we can say that as well.
Listen now, how can you compare an issue which is in the United Nations resolution passed that this is a dispute between India and Pakistan? How are you comparing this with anything else?
Last week I spoke to the Secretary General's spokesperson. I asked him if there is a requirement for the United Nations to intervene in this matter. He was completely non-committal. He wasn't ready to say yes.
The UN
spokesperson.
Yes, that is because of India. India says that it is a bilateral issue. And we went along in my time, yes, okay, it is a bilateral issue, but when you start talking, you want to talk, India doesn't talk. So it's
UN
all
does
a game
not
being
recognize
played by
this
India.
as an international issue.
No,
they have to, right?
It's in black and white. No United Nations Secretary General can deny that. Okay, if he is kept quiet, well, he is just guarding his own relations with India or whatever pressures he has. Otherwise, it's in black and white. How can any Secretary General deny it? Which Secretary General of United Nations can deny that Kashmir is a UN dispute? That is a joke.
India still believes and have always strongly advocated that this is a bilateral issue, or the Kashmir in fact is an internal issue.
The problem with India is, India tries to be very clever. India tries to wield its strength and its influence everywhere to undermine Pakistan. Now, when you talk of bilateral, very good. It's very good arrangement. It's very, very good thought. Let's sit down. When you want to sit down, they don't sit. So therefore, we have to internationalize.
As far as Kashmir is concerned,
the only time that we sat together was in my time, when we sat and tried to resolve Sir Creek, Siachen and Kashmir. Otherwise, never has this bilateralism. The term is a hoax created by India. Unless you are sincere about it and you want to sit down, then yes, bilateralism is a good way of resolving the dispute. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that, it must be internationalized.
Don't you think Prime Minister Narendra Modi has taken genuine steps to normalize relations, which began with invitation to Nawaz Sharif to a swearing in, and he took everybody by surprise when he visited Lahore and greeted the Pakistani counterpart on his birthday. These are unprecedented, but what we got in return?
I laugh at them. These are gestures which are artificial, cosmetic.
These matter a lot,
gestures.
don't they?
They matter if they end in addressing disputes, right? My handshake with Prime Minister Vajpayee mattered because then we started the peace initiative, right? But if they don't end in addressing disputes, they are cosmetics, and they are smoke screens to hide real intentions.
But for them to be taken forward, there should be a conducive atmosphere. Look at what happened. Prime Minister Narendra Modi invites Nawaz Sharif for his swearing in, then follows this Herat attack. Then he goes to Pakistan, comes Pathankot. If such is an environment, how can these be taken forward?
No, that environment has to be accepted as a reality because of what you are doing in Kashmir and the unresolved Kashmir dispute. Therefore, Pathankot, Udis will keep happening. One has to understand this reality and accept it as a start point.
When somebody lends a handshake and he's being slapped, how will he take it?
No, nobody is slapping the handshake. Nobody is extending a handshake, right? You are wrong when you say you don't come and kiss on my cheeks and this is the handshake, and then you go and abuse me when you go home. Go back to your country.
That didn't happen. When there was a handshake, follows an attack.
Always look at what Modi Saab talks of Pakistan. Look at what his intentions are on Pakistan.
The provocation begins with Pakistan. You try to internationalize the Kashmir issue when there is an internal law and order issue in one state in our country. You try to internationalize it, and India raises a human rights issue in your part of the country where there is a call for self-determination. When you raise Kashmir,
there is no call for self-determination. Absolutely wrong. Don't quote wrong things. There is no call of self-determination. So you don't know ground realities, demographic realities of Balochistan. We have taken this Baramdag, this youngster, and we are trying to project him all over the world. Balochistan. Nothing is happening in Balochistan. All that is happening is done by you, and it is minor. Some people, maybe 1,000 people, who are into this BLA and trying to destabilize Pakistan. You are the ones who you are arming them and launching them from Afghanistan.
Exactly similar things can be said about Kashmir. People of Kashmir want to be with India.
But
there
that is an international
dispute. These Burhan Wani kind of people, and these political parties who represent the aspiration of the people, they want a solution within India. And it is Pakistan which arms a few set of people, try to create problems. There is no call for self-determination in Kashmir. Similar things can be said about Kashmir.
Absolutely wrong. You are being most unrealistic. There is no comparison. One is an internationally recognized dispute. The other is our own part of Pakistan. Like you in India, about 10 times more is happening in India, which you know obviously. All the Assam, the Ulfa, what is all that happening there? Aren't there people being killed there? Aren't you suppressing the will of the people of that area? Isn't Maoists and Naxalites in about 100 districts on the eastern side all along India?
There are Taliban in Pakistan. There are hundreds of terrorist organizations operating.
They are not anti-Pakistan. Then
they are anti-peace.
And then Khalistan. Have you been to?
It's a non-existent issue, sir. Khalistan.
You are coming from London.
I'm from India, sir.
No,
I know
you
the
are.
ground reality.
Yeah. Have you met any Sikh there? I go to London and I meet Sikhs. When you say it's a non-issue, ask the,
In India, it's a non-issue, sir. People of Punjab
no.
are very peaceful. They're
no,
happy.
No, no, sir. No,
we
sir.
had a Sikh prime minister with whom you dealt with.
The Sikhs, Khalistani movement is very, very live. Very live.
Not in
there
India,
are
sir.
thousands of Sikhs who come out on the streets in London and also Khalistan. Yes, you may have curbed that through force, but that is an issue there definitely.
They may want a Khalistan in London or United States, but in India, people of Punjab are very peaceful. They are very happily Indian.
No, the Sikhs are not very, very happy.
We had a Sikh prime minister whom the entire country cherished, the Sikh community cherished. So this is a non-existent issue, sir. And moving on, there have been a lot of efforts taken by the political establishment of both sides, including your time. But there is a section allegedly in your country which sabotages all efforts that are taken by the political leadership to bring things to the negotiating table, to normalize relations, and things come to a screeching halt.
This is again something that you in India keep projecting. You keep bad-mouthing the military because you have to undermine the military. You have to undermine the military of Pakistan. That is the strength of Pakistan. If you undermine the military, Pakistan gets weakened. You understand that. And that is what you keep doing. You will carry on every government. They will keep accusing that political governments do everything and the military is actually drags them. I am a military man. I was going for peace. So where was the military? Military was all along with, military of Pakistan is all along for peace. But there is one big difference. Peace with sovereign equality, peace with honor and dignity. Minus these two, no peace is required by the army.
Unlike in Pakistan, in India, the army does not run the country.
They don't run the country, but they are one of the most important organs of the state. In India, yes, India is different. India is different. We are different. We are not India. We have our own environment. We are different from the whole world. Every country has its own environment. In our environment, military is very critical to Pakistan and they have a role.
Don't you think Pakistan is isolated of late globally because India's efforts in the United Nations and in the international stage garnering support against terrorism has received enormous support. At the same time, Prime Minister Sharif's efforts on Pakistan have miserably failed. Look at the huge response for BIMSTEC in Goa. It saw a huge congregation of leaders, and SAARC summit failed. It had to be cancelled. Don't you think Pakistan stands isolated today globally, and somehow India is gaining more and more momentum?
Yeah, India is trying its best to do that. These are all machinations by India on SAARC. Now look at the SAARC countries. Look at Bhutan, Nepal. I mean, what do you expect from poor Bhutan if they don't agree with what India is saying? Obviously, Bangladesh. Look at what you are doing. You are almost controlling Bangladesh, unfortunately. So therefore, these things, it is Indian machinations. Even in United States, it is Indian machinations. There is an India caucus there, which is pretty strong.
It's one of the largest caucuses in the United States.
I was there, I created a Pakistan caucus. It matched India's all absolute with full force. We were there, right? So it depends. We are maybe at a juncture where maybe we are down. When you talk of being isolated in the world, yes, I would say to an extent you are right. But a future world is a multipolar world. We are going towards multipolarity. So it's not United States alone. There is China and Russia coming up, right? Now, if you see in that context, we are not isolated, okay? So therefore, but however, I will agree to this point. We need to do a lot on the diplomatic side, which we are not being able to do. And it is India which is trying to create an environment where Pakistan does get isolated, Pakistan gets weakened in every form, in every institution.
Do you think Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif is responsible for the growing isolation of Pakistan?
Well, Pakistan, yes, I would say the government is responsible for a job to do domestically, and that is welfare of the people, development of the state. If that is happening well, and the country is prospering, going forward, progressing, developing, then it has a voice regionally and internationally. If your house is not in order, your voice abroad in the region or outside diminishes. Now that is the problem of Pakistan, but these are ups and downs that happen. In my time, we talk of the economy, India is shining India, but let me tell you, we were doing better than India in my time.
And today,
economically.
Today, India is one of the top performing GDPs in the world, and look at Pakistan's economy. It is equivalent to one of the Indian states. What do you think is responsible for this state of affairs in Pakistan? Because economy has always taken a back seat.
Well, poor governance.
Confronting India militarily and other issues have taken economy to the back focus.
No. Confronting of India has always been the case. Over our 60 years, we have always confronted India. We have always had a hostile India, which is trying to undermine Pakistan, always for 60 years. So we'll carry on doing that till we resolve disputes, and India realizes that being a big country, it should have a big heart also. That is not the problem. That is not the issue. In India, I call it a country, big country with a small heart.
You call us with a small heart, sir, but we have tolerated all sorts of terrorism emanating from your side of the soil and still managed to come to the negotiating table. This is too much a heart, sir.
No. There is no heart. Those are realities. These are issues, as I said. It's a 50 years old, 60 years old issue, dispute, which was since our partition, accepted by India and Pakistan as a dispute in the United Nations, signed and sealed. And this is not
later reviewed as well.
So let's not carry on saying that Kashmir is not an end, comparing it with Balochistan and all that. Because then we'll start comparing it with Khalistan, and we'll start comparing it with
Kashmir. It's about the numerous terrorist attacks that India faces, which happens in various parts of the country, not just Kashmir, in Mumbai, Bangalore, and a lot of these cases trace back to Pakistan.
Well, now those are those are different. And if at all anything has happened in Bombay, yes, indeed, I would say that was a terrorist attack against your country. But again, if you go into the background of those, they also have some reasons. The Samjhota Express, if you remember, do you remember that there was a colonel who was involved, a serving colonel or serving major or a
that is an accusation, and that the issue is sub judice, and he has not been convicted.
Well, that is what you'll do. You'll manipulate, you'll manage. But that is the reality.
We have a very strong judiciary, sir, unlike many countries.
Well, I will still say you have a stronger raw.
We have a very stronger judiciary.
No, you have a stronger respect. Raw. Let me tell you that you have a stronger
raw is not about the judiciary in our country, sir.
No, it is not. They don't act above. They operate underground.
I don't think our judiciary can be manipulated, sir. We have strongest faith, and it is internationally reputed.
They don't have to be manipulated. There are ways of doing it. You don't have to teach me what RAW does. I know about what ISI does, what MI does, what RAW does, what KBGB does.
What ISI does.
Yes, every one of them do the same thing.
Let's agree to disagree on this, because our judiciary, we feel, is very strong, to resist all that. And another issue, on the issue of terrorism, both countries have been victims of terror. You have lost 132 innocent children. So this issue is just not taken India by it all. And Pakistan also is a victim of terror. But the general accusation is you have not done enough to curb terrorism in your soil.
No. I think they are doing a lot. It's never enough. Yes, I will agree, because the nuances of terrorism are different. Nuance of terrorism in KPK is very different, and the army has operated very well there. They have cracked down and they've done very well. They have suffered a lot of casualties for the sake of for sacrifice for the country. In Balochistan, it is very different. It is India oriented. Totally. The separatism there is induced by the Indians. So that is a different way of handling that, which is being done. The other is sectarian terrorism and extremism. Well, we are handling, but maybe more room for improvement. I'll agree.
Another $1 million question. Where is Dawood Ibrahim? Is he not in Pakistan?
No, I don't know. I don't know at all.
Is there a possibility that he's in Pakistan?
I can't say at all. I don't know. I'm not in touch with any with him, with his whereabouts at all.
Was there any time he was in Pakistan?
No comments. I don't know.
Is he respected in your country?
Well, yes, he is respected. He will be respected, because what happened in Bombay, what happened in Gujarat, where 200 Muslims were killed, as a reaction, whatever he does, it resonates well with people.
And what about the thousands of Hindus persecuted in Pakistan?
Never.
When your country had its inception, the population of Hindus in Pakistan was 15%. It has now shrunk to 2%.
I read
so can we say Pakistan has not done enough to protect its minorities, especially its religious minorities?
Again, what now sorry to be using all this word again and again, bullshit. Now, never has Hindus in Pakistan been 15%. I don't know where you got these figures. Pre-partition,
or it is much higher than what it is
just
now.
A second. Pre-partition, definitely they may have been 15 or maybe a little more. But after partition, certainly Pakistan is Muslim to about 93-94%, right? That has been the case. No Hindus have total liberty in Pakistan. Minorities have total liberties. Occasional incidents do take place at the grassroots level, not at all, and they are very strongly criticized by entire civil society.
Such are the occasional incidents that happen in India, and you blow that beyond proportion. You call 2002 Gujarat.
Now, these things, as far as minorities are concerned, you should never talk about that, because you, living in glass houses, don't throw stones at others. Look at what you do with your minorities. Look at what is happening now with the Dalits.
For Dalits, we have safeguards in our constitution itself. They are oppressed. Of course, there have been historic injustice, but that's been corrected with a constitutional safeguard. Yeah. You don't have that in Pakistan.
No, in Pakistan, there are joint electorates for minorities. Minorities, Christians and Hindus and Sikhs are in our military, in our armed forces. They have fought against you. So what are you talking?
India, Muslims have reached very high offices. They have been in the military. They've become presidents of our country.
They're very happy in our country. Because there are maybe about 16, 17 or up to 20% of the population. In Pakistan, they are maybe just 1 or 2% of the population, Hindus, or 2 or 3% maximum.
Haven't they been persecuted all along?
Never.
The religious rights curb?
Never. If you go to Sindh, where major part of Hindus are, doctors, teachers and financial controllers are all Hindus.
Why has it shrunk? The Muslim population in India has not shrunk, but the Hindu population in Pakistan has shrunk.
No, I don't agree with this statement. You made this 15%, 2%. Absolutely wrong. Please correct your figures.
Maybe 15 and 2 may be wrong, but it has shrunk. That is factual.
Never. It is never the case.
Your then foreign minister, Mr. Khurshid Kasori, in his book writes, when you were the president and there was a BJP government previously, that was the best time for the Indo-Pakistan relations when things were on an upward trajectory. Do you agree with that observation?
Yes, but in the BJP government with Prime Minister Vajpayee and myself, we were not moving forward on resolution of the disputes. The first meeting that I had with him was the dispute was on the drafting of a resolution, a joint resolution, which recognized that in order to improve our relations, we have to resolve our disputes, and it carried 2 or 3 sentences that Kashmir is the core dispute between India and Pakistan, which must be resolved if we want to proceed further in a peaceful manner. So that was only the resolution. The real progress on addressing disputes was in Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's time.
You worked with the 2 prime ministers in India. Who is your favorite?
I wouldn't like to compare the 2. They were both very good. I must say I respect them a lot. They were both exceptionally good people.
If there is an Indian leader you respect a lot, or who really you adore, who is that and for what reason? May not be a contemporary leader, maybe a leader in the past, who you really respect, if there is one.
if one looks at qualities, Gandhiji, obviously, and Nehru, they are the two, Jawaharlal Nehru, were the two leaders who were great people. But their being, whether they were moving in the interest of Pakistan and the Muslims, I wouldn't like to say that they were very positively inclined towards Muslims and towards the creation of Pakistan. Subsequently, now after Pakistan, after partition, then we come to the leaders that we have seen all along. Out of them, obviously, I'll pick on Manmohan Singh Saab and Prime Minister Vajpayee. And as I said, I respect both of them because they were the ones who were moving towards dispute resolution and real peace, a real peace between the two countries. We were moving forward. Therefore, I respect them a lot.
And with Vajpayee, you had love-hate relationship, didn't you?
No, I had love relation. I don't think there was ever a hate relationship. He was too good a person to be hated, not at all. There were issues. We have to understand that our relations have been so volatile.
True.
That ups and downs, these irritants will happen, and they shouldn't be taken as if they are being articulated by the Pakistani leader or the Pakistan army. I mean, if the parliament is attacked in my time, certainly not articulated by the government or the army or me. I would be mad to do that because we were moving forward on a peace process. So that was not the case.
It was not the leadership at the helm, but there are forces in your country which are behind that.
Because of what is happening, you see, this is what the Indians must realize. Continuously, I am saying, there is a dispute which causes emotions to rise.
That cannot justify terrorism.
Dispute. No, it does justify because of what the Indian army does in Kashmir, where killings have taken place, where what happens to the people there, what is happening now, people then run into Pakistan, they rise against Indians. This is what has been happening all along. Now high time we see this reality. If we don't, then these things will keep happening. This Pathankot and Uri, I have said, will keep happening. Not that the government and the armies wants.
How can the talks go on then? If
they must go on. That is the point. They must go on.
If I come to a negotiating table with a smiling face and I'm attacked, how can that go on?
Because the person with whom you are negotiating he is not the one who is attacking. A third person is attacking because of his emotional issues. That will happen.
With whom I'm negotiating is in hand in glove with the person who is attacking me.
No, that is not the case. That is not the case. We have to understand the historical background of everything. In the 90s, in the early 90s, in 1990, I think, when the Kashmir uprising took place, which was suppressed very strongly by your military, by forces, and a lot of people killed, that is where the APHC and the people from your part of Kashmir ran into Pakistan, and an organization sprung up to fight the Indian army in Kashmir. And that was the start of all militant organizations in Pakistan, Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish Muhammad, everything. There were many others, about 10, 12. Who wanted to go into Kashmir, voluntarily go there.
Many of them sponsored by your country or establishment?
No, nobody sponsored. They were volunteers. Even now, thousands of people are prepared to go.
They being sponsored and operated is recognized by many leaders of your country. Well, it's not even an open secret. It's factual, isn't it?
They may be turning a blind eye. They may be sympathetic towards them. Yes, indeed, definitely. Just like you are trying to be sympathetic towards Balochistan. These things are happening, and they'll keep happening. But if you believe in peace, these things must not come in the way of peace. I mean, if an attack on parliament, attack on Uri, attack on Pathankot, These will happen, but the peace process must not be hampered.
Peace and bullets cannot go side by side, right?
Well, bullets will stop when peace goes in. But without that, bullets carry on. You also do that, and we also do that.
Yeah, peace talks and bullets, how can they coexist? That's the million-dollar question that we are confronting each other.
But just a short comment, when you say bullets and peace cannot, you take the example of UK and IRA and Ireland. Bullets were continuing, isn't it? They reached peace, right? The bullets, you can't say first stop bullets and then we will talk peace. No, sir. Bullets continue, peace also continues. And when peace succeeds, bullets stop. So this is what needs to be done.
During your time, there is a say that the Siachen issue was almost close to a resolution, and Dr. Manmohan Singh accepted for that. Is that true?
Now, I had suggested that there are three possibilities, quite clearly, not more than three, not less, not more. One is that draw a line in between, half-half, although that will be difficult in the mountains. Second, make this a no-go area for both. Nobody enters that area, because that's quite a desolate area. Number three is both sides can send expeditions from both sides, and it becomes a common area. So I had even told Prime Minister Manmohan Singh that I will agree, you decide on any one of these, I'll agree. So we were moving. That is because of, I must say, because of goodwill and sincerity on both sides.
What stopped the resolution?
Yes, that's an important question. I personally feel that in 2007, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh was supposed to come to Pakistan. We had agreed, and he had agreed.
That was a long pending visit, isn't it?
Yes, because I had visited India, and then we had met in New York on the sidelines of United Nations. So he had agreed to come. So we would surely have signed at least one, if not both, Siachen and Sir Creek. Kashmir was in the process of being drafted, may not have been completed at that time, too sensitive an issue. But then he didn't turn up, he didn't come in 2007. Maybe, this is my guess, it's my conjecture, it may not be correct. My popularity started going down in 2007.
Because of the Supreme Court issue and all that?
Lot of issues. Maybe he thought that he should not come.
What steps do you think both countries need to take to keep things moving forward and normalize relations? Because these bold steps need to be taken by both countries.
Yes, I've been saying that both side leaders have to have three qualities. Number one is sincerity. Sincerity, genuine sincerity to resolve disputes. And not eyewash, and no artificialities, and no bluff game. Second is flexibility. You have to be flexible enough for others' point of view, to accept other point of view. Third is the important one, and that is courage and boldness. Because when you resolve a dispute, you always meet halfway. Nobody is going to give you only, you cannot take and take. You have to give and take. Take half, give half. Now that is where leaders get scared of their own population, of their own people, that they are going to accuse you of having sold out or succumbed or whatever. That needs courage to face the negatives at home, at your own backyard. So these are the three qualities required. But the first one has to initiate the process even. The first one, the sincerity part, is most important.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has taken a historic move to curb black money and counterfeit notes by abolishing 1,000 and 500 rupee notes. This is basically largely because of a complaint that counterfeit notes flow from the other side of the border. How do you look at this step?
Well, first of all, every accusation against Pakistan, I challenge that. Let me at the least say that it is done by both sides. Whatever this is, you do exactly whatever you accuse Pakistan to do. Let that be very, very clear. You're not that innocent. right? Now, as far as the action is concerned, I personally think it's good. I think that black money, especially, not Pakistan's counterfeit money, but the black money, ill-gotten money, that will be unearthed. I think it's a good action. I am no economist, but I think it's a good action.
Okay. What is your message to the people of India, especially people of Tamil Nadu who are watching you? We have come to the end of the interview.
Well, I have read a lot about South India, and I hold South Indians in great esteem for the development that you've managed for yourselves. I know that you are educationally much better off than rest of India. I know that IT is booming in your part of India. So therefore, I have tremendous respect for your achievements in South India and especially Tamil Nadu. May I also say that whatever little people that I have met from South India, I see positive attitudes of South Indians towards Pakistan and towards the process of harmony between the two countries. And I respect that also.
Thank you for the very nice words. That's a wonderful end to this interview. Thank you very much, General Musharraf, for agreeing to talk to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.